Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to my students. Welcome to my channel Mathsnatic. To remind you that we were doing this book, Karen Morrison and Nick Hamshaw, Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Core and Extended Course Book, second edition. And we have already covered about 16 exercises, and today uh, it is the turn of 17th exercise, and 17th exercise is the last exercise, and it is very simple exercise. Let me start. Question exercise 1.17. Now this exercise deals with rounding off. Rounding off. I have already told you that what is rounding off. And to be precise, I will tell you that how to round off the decimals which are at the two places, which are at the three places, and how much we have to round off. Now, you see, if I am given the example like this 64.839906, 839906. Now I have to round this. Now, my dear students, there are two ways of rounding it. You see that it is written as 64 point, and this is the fractional point, and this is the whole number, and this is the fractional part of this whole number. We know that the number is greater than uh, 64, but is a little less than 65. If I am doing a very rough or a very rough estimation or calculation, I can use it as 65 also. But how? Now you see that the far away we go from the decimal, it is very less now. Now these two digits are very less, that if I ignore these two digits, nothing will happen to the calculation. Nothing will happen to the calculation. Now what I do is, now you see that once I have ignored these two numbers, now dear students, uh, since we have ignored these two numbers, let me rub. Okay, now I have left with only 64.8399, and there was something also written. Let me do it like this, which we have already ignored. Now you see that 0.8399 has to be round off. Now what I do, you see that these 99, now this 9 and this 9 can be converted into 6 point. Now this 9 and this 9, let me do it like this, that this is almost equal to for the next digit, next higher digit. So what I do is I just do it like this. Now you see that here we have come up with now 4. Here we have come up with 4 now. So I told you a rule that if it is 0.1 to 0.5, just ignore these. And if it is greater than 0.5 to 0.9, then take the next digit towards the left. It is not only the case over here, it is the case also from here to here, and also from here to here. You just can take the next higher digit towards the left. So what I do here, I just once again ignore this 4. I just once again ignore here. Now I have ignored 4 over here. And now you see that this 0.8 falls in my next category. In my next category, that was 0.5 to zero point 0.9. Now what I do, I just do it like this. That now this is almost equal to this. Now this is called rounding off. Now this was a simple example. Now if the writer says you to write to the two significant decimal places or three significant decimal places, you have to round any number to two significant decimal places. Then you see, for with the same example, what I do, if I have to do it, if I have to round it for two decimal places significant to the two decimal places. Now this is our question, or you can also take this also. So this was our whole question. Now if here we are asked to do up to two significant places, then what we have to do is, you see what I do here now. Now I have to write. Now we have to do it for two significant places now. Now you have to ignore this, and ignore this. Then what comes here? 0.009. Mind my words. 0.009. 0.009 is the next term or the next digit. So what we have to do, the upcoming digit towards the left was 3. So what we do here is we change this 3 to 4, and what happens here, it was 8. Now it becomes as 84. The whole number has been converted into or rounded up into up to two decimal places, as it was asked by the writer or your question. One more question for three decimal places, significant to three decimal places. Now what we do? The example is the same. We have to convert it to three decimal places. Now this is up to three decimal places. So what we do here, we'll start with the exercise. Now exercise number 1.17, question number 1. And we have to do round each number to two decimal places. Part A. 3.1. Now I have to round it up to two decimal places. Now what I do is, it is, you know that this I have to ignore, or I have to step it to next higher position. Now what will be it become? 3.19. 3.19 is the significant to two decimal places. Part C. 38, 34, 56. 38, 34, 56. Now what we have to do is, we have to do it to the two decimal places. 3, 8. Now what we have to do is, you see that it is 6 and it is 5. Let us start from this side now. 3, 4. Now this is greater than 0.0005. So what I do is here, I brought this, I converted this 5 into this 6, next higher number, because it was greater than, if I go to the decimal position of this question, this 6 is 0, 6. This is the decimal position of the this 6. Now what I do, I just, it was 5 here, so what I did, I just converted it to the next higher position, and that is 6. Now this is again, you see that this is 6. Now what we have to do is, we have to change this position also, and this is 0.5. Now you see that it comes as 0.3. So dear students, you saw that how I worked it like this, and we have transformed this number to significant to 2 decimal places. Now there is one more interesting question coming up here is, and that is, now this is E, and the number is 0.999. Now we have to, what we have to do is, we have to just round it up to 2 decimal places. Now you see, now this is very tricky thing over here. If I round it over here, what will happen here? Now this 9, you see I have just marked 1, 2 and 3. Now this with mark 1 is, the position of this 9 is here. Now if I go to next higher number over here, now I have to add 0.001, we have to add it. Now what will happen here, that it will become 0, and now here it is already 9. Here it is already 9 with 2 points over here. Now what happens, that it will become 0 again, and the upcoming number is with 3 dots will again come to 0, and this will round to 1 now. Now this is very interesting feature. Now we have to, uh, bring this number, and we have to round this number to 2 decimal places. So you see that we cannot round this number to 2 decimal places. Now we have to ultimately bring it to the whole number. Now what will be the answer over here, that we transform this, we rounded this 9 with addition of 0.001. What happens, it becomes 0, here it becomes 0, here it becomes 0, and the 2 decimal are these 1.00 will be the answer. Now you see that we have written 2 decimal places, but these are rounded off now. Another interesting question and point, and that is G, that is 0.005. Now again, what is the decimal place of this? 5 is 0.005. Now this is the decimal place of this one. Now what we do, we have to round this. So we add 0.01 over here. 0.0015 आ गया. 1.015. Now just ignore this one. So what will be your answer? 0.0.01. Now this is true up to 2 decimal places. Let us now proceed to question number 2. Now dear students, let us start question number 2. And what does it says that we have to express each of the number which is given in the question to now see what is written over here. Four significant figures. Four significant figures. Now figure is something different and decimal place is something different. Number 2, three significant figures. Three significant figures. And number 3 to one significant figure. No, for each part we have to do 3 parts. Now the first part is for the first part, and that is A, and we are given with 4500 and now for the first we have to do to 4 significant figures. Now it is already written in 4 significant figures, so it will remain unchanged. Now it will remain unchanged. For second, what will we do? 3 significant figures. Now these are the 3 significant figures. Now what will it become? 1. And for one significant figure, you see, we have to ignore this and we have to add 1 in this one. So what will become? It will become 5. In question, in part 2, you can also write here 0. If you will not write 0, no difference will be made. Now let me take another part which is written in the decimal fraction. D, and that is 320.55. So we have to do all these 3 processes to this question also now. So dear students, we have to uh, round it, or we have to write it in 4 significant figures, 3 significant figures and 1 significant figure. The part is this 320.66. Now what we do is here, first of all, number 1. Now what we do, you see this is greater than 4549, or you just put it, the next coming number over here is 0.6. So 320.6 be the first answer. Number 2, 3 significant figures. Now we have to write it into 3 significant figures. Now you see that this is more than 0.5, more than half, more than 0.5. So here we just pick the next number coming over here at the left hand side before, prior to the decimal, and that is 1, and it will become 321. Now one decimal place, one significant figure. Now one significant figure, so you have to, in the third part, what you have to do is you have to write it into one significant figure. So what we do here is we write 3 and we ignore this because these are less than 5. So what we here write here is 2 zeros over here. We'll ignore this and round it to 0. We'll ignore this because this is again less than 5. I've already told you that anything 1 to 5 can be ignored, and from 5 or 1 from 6 to 9 will be written as the next higher number. And similarly, as this is the case in uh, points, you have to ignore this and you have to write the next higher number. So we have ignored this, we have put 0 over here, we ignore this and put 0 over here. One more question from question number part 2, and that is the last L part. You see, students, that we have given with this number 0.006475, and the last is at the fifth place. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7th place. It is at the 7th place now. Now we have to bring it to 4 significant place. Now what we do here is we'll ignore this and it will become like this. We have taken the next of this number, the sixth decimal place. We have shifted the sixth decimal place to next higher number. Now this whole decimal places are 0.6474, 0.006474. Now to three decimal places. Now you see, for three decimal places we have to ignore this. We have to ignore this. So what become, because this is less than 5, this is less than 0.6, or this is less than 6, this is less than 6. So what we have to do is we'll just write it like this over here. And for this 0.00, in my opinion, now we have to, if I do it in two steps now, this part I am going to do in two steps. You see, now this will become 5. We have changed this 4 to 5, and for our answer we have to ignore this also. So we have ignored 0.047 and we have bring it to 0.006. Now proceed to the next question, and that is the last question, and maybe we don't have time for today to meet our next exercise. Now there is a fraction given. In question number 3, a fraction is given, and the fraction is 2 whole 5 divided by 9. Now this is only one fraction given, and there are lot of about six parts. We have to do it with this now. Now let me do it for three decimal places. For three decimal places. And you have also given the access to the calculator. Friends, what we are given with in question number 3 is 2 whole 5 divided by 9, and we have the also given the access of calculator. If I do it manually, what I have to do is I have to multiply this denominator with this whole number. It will become 18, and 18 then I'll have to plus, first I have to multiply 9 multiplied 2, and then I have to plus whatsoever comes over here, and it will be added to this 5 number. So the sequence be 9 multiplied 2 plus whatsoever becomes. So 18 plus 5 is 23 now, and 23 divided by 9, the denominator remains the same. So you have to divide it like this. if doing manually. If doing manually. So what becomes 2? 18, 5. So what becomes over here? It becomes 5. No, 5 is not divisible by 9. Put a point, put a 0, bring it down. So it becomes 50. 5 times 45. 5. Point is already over there. You can add as many zeros as you can like. So this will is never ending story, and it is again 2.55555555. And I've already told you that when this situation occurs, you can just put two dots over the coming numbers, and it represents the recurring decimal, that these are coming again and again, again and again, again and again. Now we don't have to waste our time in doing this much in the in the rough section. So what we do here is, if you can see here my calculator, scientific calculator. Now this is a simple scientific calculator. You just write 2 over here, then shift and this sign over here, write 5, and bring this cursor down, bring right a 9, and you see that 23 upon 9. Now this, it has solved up to this 23 upon 9. So it has become 23 upon 9. So you can just press this button, so it becomes 2.55555555. So this answer has come. Now you see that the answer is 2.555. How many fives are? 8 fives. These are 8 fives. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 1 6. Okay. Now the question is, we have to express answer correct to 3 decimal places. Now part A is to 3 decimal places. 2.555. Now this is correct to 3 decimal places. Now for we have to do it to 3 decimal places. Now you see there is a long chain of 55555. Now you can easily convert it into 6. Now this is your first answer, 2.556. And for part B, up to 2 decimal places. Now it will become as 56. And for C, it is for 1 decimal places. Simply up to 3 significant places. Now you see that these 3 were the decimal places. Now I have to write at to 3 significant places. These are what these A, B, C, up to 3 decimal places, 2 decimal places and 1 decimal places. Now D, E, F are not decimal places, but these are significant figures. Now there is a little difference in figure and decimal. Now we have to write it like this. Now this is up to 3 significant 3 significant places. 3 significant places. 2 significant places. You see that this 6 has been brought up over here because this is greater than 0.05. So we shift this 5 to 0.6. And the last E and F is one significant figure. Now this is 6 more than 0.5, more than half. So we write it as 3. So this concludes our exercise 1.17, and I am sorry that we don't have much time left in this session to proceed to the examination question exercise. So I'll be doing it in the next section, next session, and it is very important that I have to do it each and every question of the upcoming exercise. Well, my dear students, it's time to say goodbye to you, Have a nice day. But before going to say you goodbye, I'll just ask you to subscribe this channel, and it is very easy and it does not cost you anything. Subscribe this channel, and the channel name is Mathsnetic, and don't forget to push this bell. Bye and Allah Hafiz.